here with you, and I wanted to make a video because there's a lot of new subscribers that have joined my channel, and I'm super excited about that. But a lot of them are asking about the basic tools that you need for card making, and I thought that could be a really fun video to share with you guys what I consider the most basic tools, and then if you have more money and you want to invest in this and you really like card making, well, what are other options that you can add to your basic list of supplies? So I figured I was going to do this for you guys. So I've been thinking about it for the past few days, and I've started using my new Techno Obunichi. I'm loving it. The year has not started yet, so I'm using the front calendar pages as well as the spread for this upcoming week, the weekly spread. I figured I was going to put down some ideas of videos because you guys did give me some ideas, so I wrote them down so that I wouldn't forget. And then here for the beginning of January, I've made my list of items because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to forget items that I really use. I know there are other items that I use a lot, and this is not, you know, the end of it all. There's more, which reminds me that I had two other items that I wanted to write, and so that I don't forget to tell you about it. Okay, so my favorite tools for card making, and I'm telling you the beginning ones are very basic because you really don't need a lot to do cards. So basic pencil, that's, you know, I make my mark with pencils. You need an eraser because obviously if you mark your paper you might want to erase it, so make sure you have one. That's one thing I keep losing, so I've purchased myself some of those little clear bins, little drawers bins that you find at Dollar Tree and Dollard-des-ormeaux and that sort of thing, and I've put them in the corner here and the corner there, and I've put in my eraser in one of the drawers, and that has been like a life changer thing for me. So something to do if you're like me and you lose your stuff. So eraser. Now a good pair of scissors, and by the way, all the items that I'm going to showcase, except for obviously the pencil and the eraser, because even this pencil is a Dollard-des-ormeaux one, so you know, it's just a regular mechanical pencil, a very cheap one, so because this way if I lose it, not so bad, I can purchase some other one. But there are some items that I do suggest that you purchase, and those are going to be something that you're going to be using probably for your lifetime or for a very long period of time. And I've put in these items in my favorite lists on Amazon. So if you check in the description box below of my video, you'll see that there's an affiliate link for my Amazon page. Now I'm giving you the access to this so that you guys can actually check out the items. You don't have to buy them from Amazon. If you do buy them from Amazon, it doesn't cost you anything more by going through my link. However, what it does is it gives me a little bit of a kickback from your purchase from that, and I get the kickback from the purchase of anything that you do using the if you go through my link first to go to Amazon and then shop, I do get a little percentage back. So that is really appreciated because obviously I made these videos for you guys for free. So if I can buy a few supplies via the little money that I make on Amazon, well, it helps. So just wanted to give that disclaimer, but most of the biggest reason why I did that favorite list is for you guys to be able to actually see and read the description of the items that I recommend. So you can go check it out, and then you can decide what you want to do. Most of the time the items are I find that they're not any more expensive there than they would be anywhere else, and sometimes you can get better deals actually from them. You can also get it free shipping often, and not everybody has a Michael right next to them, and so, you know, just the gas to go and get the items versus just staying home and getting it delivered to you sometimes makes a big difference. So anyway, back to where we were. My favorite pair of scissors of all, and I'm so glad I found them again because I had lost them in my mess, are the Cutter Bees. They're made from EK Success, and you can see mine are really dirty from all the usage and stuff, and using paint and whatever, and you like the starting to rub off. But these guys are workhorses. They will fussy cut like there's no tomorrow, and I really love these. So if I suggest a pair of scissors to buy, this would be the pair. If you want to fussy cut, if you want to do any cuts for cards, that's the recommended pair. Now, there's a lot of people that ask about my guillotine. I have two. The first one I'm going to suggest is for the beginner's tool. So far we've said the pencil, the erasers, the scissors, so we're at 3. I've suggested 10 items, not necessarily in the order of preference, because obviously there's other items that you do need for card making, but this one is definitely something that I would highly recommend. This one measures 6 by 8.5. So it's very portable. I love this guillotine. Like, I use it all the time. If you watch my videos, you know I use it all the time. It's from Tonic Studios, and you can see that in the description box below as well. It's very portable, which is one thing I really like about this tool, is that, you know, it's very portable. And I find that this one cuts better than all the other ones that I've had, so highly suggest this one. Then there's a lot, I get a lot of questions as well on my tape gun. So my tape gun is the Scotch Advanced Tape Glider. You can also find this in my Amazon link. I'll stop saying Amazon link, because if you go after this video and you check it, you'll find everything that I've mentioned, except for the tape. The tape, I get them from Tape Jungle. I found that their tape is just as good as the Scotch brand, but much cheaper. Especially if you're in the States, you can get free shipping. I believe it's for like 25 bucks of order, and I go through this stuff a lot, so even from Canada, it was worth it for me to order a big box and have it delivered here. So I made all kinds of calculations, and it still was cheaper. So just as, you know, a heads up, the Tape Jungle link is also in the description box below. I don't get anything from suggesting this brand to you guys. I just discovered them a while back, and I wish I had known about them before, because the Scotch Advanced Tape itself is fairly expensive, and it's like you get 2 rolls for something like close to 10 bucks, I think, in Canada now. So that's pretty expensive. I used to use my coupons from Michael's from it, but I go through this stuff so much. So when I found Tape Jungle, I really love their tape. It will happen sometimes that one roll doesn't work as well, but honestly the difference in price makes up for that time, and it's really rare that it doesn't work properly. So, and even this tape runner, I've used it so much that I've actually broken this part here, and I had to purchase another one. I gifted myself another one at one point, but I had worked with the broken one for a while. So this here, this tape runner, honestly, like, that is really something that I adore. So number 5 is my tape gun, and then you've got the tape from tape jumbo. So those highly suggest, especially if it's hard for you to use your hands and stuff. This really makes it easy. So yeah, I suggest that. Now, another one of my favorite ways to glue stuff down is with Suquan tape, also known as cord tape. I've pulled out two. The one I use the most is a 1/4 inch, but if you use a lot of smaller pieces, the 1/8 of an inch is also very useful. So those are the two sizes that I would suggest the most. I have bigger sizes, and I use them for sure, but the ones that I reach out for the most are these two. Okay, so score tape or Suquan tape, something that I really like. Then there's the regular glue. So regular glue stick, just make sure that it's a glue stick that actually works. I had purchased some that really didn't glue down anything. I really like the Prit brand. It's a brand that I usually get when it's school time, and there's a lot of specials. I watch out for those, and I got a bunch of them for like 50 cents each, where usually they're over $2 often. So I highly suggest during school time, when school goes back, usually in September here, just you purchase a bunch, and then I don't buy the glue for the rest of the year. I'm good for the full year. And this, like I said, this brand I know works really well, whereas some others that I've tried really don't work very well. There's another brand that I really like. It's the what's its name? One that really doesn't work. If you don't want to glue anything down and you want to be able to pull stuff up again, is the Play-Doh one. That was a disaster. I hate that glue. I kept the glue stick though, because sometimes if I want to cut out some sentiments and stuff and be able to reuse them, I glue it with the Play-Doh one on a piece of cardstock, and then I can just peel them and use regular glue stick afterwards. So just a little trick. So yeah, there's the Yoo-Hoo one brand that I really like as well. It's the yellow stick. Those work. That one works as well. But this, I find that this here, when it's school time, it's the cheapest that I find. So that's that. Then something I don't use all that often, because I usually end up just eyeballing it, but is really useful, is a ruler. This one I got for free by taking a class at Emploi Québec, and I love it because it's a really long ruler. It's actually 16 inches, this one, and so it's very useful. If I want to measure anything out, I always use this one. The good thing with this one is it's so bright that I don't usually lose it, and it's pretty big as well. So that's one of the reasons why I especially love that one. Now, the last but not least is paper. Now, you've seen me use cardstock folders. This here, I had purchased a bunch of these cardstock at a thrift store, and I've been cutting them down to make cards, and this is the last little bunch I have of that paper, that cardstock. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and tell you that you can use other cardstock. You don't have to use this one. However, if I'm going to purchase some cardstock specifically for card making, and the one I used to use all the time, and if I'm making 6x6 card, this is the stuff I use. I usually purchase the white or the black. I also have a bunch of other different colors, but I like the white and the black the most. And this is the heavyweight 80-pound cover, and it's 12 by 12, and it's from AC Cardstock, the American craft. And it's like I said, it's 12 by 12, so you can make different sizes of cards with this. So highly recommend if you're going to buy cardstock itself. This is what I usually use. Now I use that as a card base. When I stamp images and I want to color them, those I use my Nina cardstock, just so you know. But I'm not talking about images, because I'm thinking that you guys can reuse images from books, you can reuse images from cards, there's all kinds of places where you can get images. You can get them from packaging. I'm thinking packaging because I'm looking at this here from a Tim Holtz package, and you can see that I kept this to use as an image. So, you know, like, there's so many options on images that I'm not going into coloring and all that sort of stuff. But if you're interested in stuff like that, then that's a whole different type of options, because obviously you can have all kinds of coloring mediums and so on and so forth. But I didn't want to go into this with this video, because it's gonna be pretty long. So now those would be your basics. That's what I would start with. If I had nothing else, that's how I would start my card making. And like I said, not necessarily in the same order. For sure, the pencil, the eraser, the scissors would be there. Obviously you need paper, but like I said, the paper, you could use different type of papers. The regular glue would be one of them, and then it would be the guillotine and the tape gun, and so on. So now, once you've got those basics and you want to invest some more, one of the things that I suggest, which is very useful, because obviously you can use your printer to print out sentiments and cut them out and use that for your cards. But sometimes it's fun and easy to use some stamps. And there are some stamps that are really, really affordable, and I've pulled out 3 sets here. I should remove this from these. I should put white cardstock maybe, or just this. So if we look here, you might see better. So those are just regular sentiments. You are no more than a thought away, follow your heart, it knows the way, small wonder, happiness always, you're too kind, the more candles, the bigger the wish. So those here are very affordable, and you can get them from In Love Art. I've shared the links before, and I'll try to remember to share the link as well. Then they also have season greetings for Christmas and holidays, and they have another set which I really love, because it also can be used for all kinds of different options. So you've got Miss You, you've got Happy Birthday, you've got Thanks. There's all kinds of options that you can make with this. So these 3 sets are from In Love Art, and very inexpensive. So if you want just a few stamps, I would suggest sentiment stamps, and try to find some that are more generic that you can use for all kinds of stuff. So like Happiness Always can be sent for, you know, anything. You're never more than a thought away, that could be used for somebody that got hurt, could be you're too kind, could be for a thank you. So these to me are a good purchase, because you've got a lot for your buck. You can make all kinds of different cards with just these. Obviously you can also, like I said, make your own sentiments and print them. You can also cut them out from items. But if you want, you know, to go into something else, something more, those are good ideas. Now when I stamp, you're gonna need an acrylic block. So this is just a generic acrylic block, very cheap. You can actually find these sometimes, if you're lucky, at Dollar Tree. They do have some. I'm not sure the size of them. This one I've had for many years. You can see how dirty it is. And I like to use a mouse pad. So I find like when my mouse pads got really dirty, and if I'm stamping on a mouse pad like this, the little bounce that it gives is enough to make the stamping more crisp. So just, you know, an idea if, and it's usually very inexpensive to have a little mouse pad, and sometimes you can find them from, you know, even your workplace might be throwing some away, or sometimes they're given out as promotional items. So just an idea. So this is something I use a lot, and obviously the acrylic block. And then the ink that I like to use the most is the Archival Ranger black, jet black ink. So there's a small size, and usually the small size would be plenty. I do have some big stamps, which is why I got the larger size, and obviously you can do the smaller inking using the larger size as well. Up to you guys, but definitely this one would be a must in my list of items. If you're gonna buy a black ink and you want it to be permanent, waterproof, this is for sure my #1 ink. Then the next tool that I really love is the Bow Easy. This is a tool that's made in USA. It allows you to make bows. I have shared in some videos where I make bows for my cards how to use this tool. I know that you could use the fork, a fork and the teeth of the fork to make bows. I just find that this is really fun because it has different sizes for making bows, and I really love it. So if you can, and it's not very expensive, you can get this, and you can get this on Amazon as well. It's also part of my Amazon list. Then a tool that I really love is my corner chumper from my Crocodile corner chumper from We're Memory Keepers. And this one is 1/4 and the 1/2 inch. And I find, like, if before you get into the die cut machines and all of that stuff, just rounding the corners of something will make a big difference. So this was one of the first tools that I got. Actually, I got this one used. But if you're not able to get it used, this is definitely a tool that I would recommend, and I use it all the time. And like I said, I got it used and it's still in amazing condition. It's super easy to use, not too difficult if you have hand issues. So definitely a recommended item. Then we get into the big thing. So one of the things that I really love to use is dies. And so I have 2 machines that I'm gonna showcase. Now, if you're gonna make small cards, this little machine, the Size X Sidekick, could be plenty for you guys, because it has the plates like this, and you can use them on, you can use dies, small dies very easily on this. So anything that you use for a sentiment or even for cutting a small image would fit on this. And this little machine will only cost you like 27 bucks on Amazon. So definitely, if you're not too sure about using a die cutting machine and you don't want to invest a lot, but you do want to have the options of doing a few dies, or one of the things too that I'm gonna showcase two types of dies, but you can get the dies for fairly cheap these days. And so some of them you can get from In Love Art. That's one option, and I would suggest that if you're gonna buy just a few small dies, that might be a really good option for you. And like I said, this size machine could be plenty for your need. I like this because it fits well on a desk. not too big and bulky, and so definitely something that I would recommend. I didn't go that route initially. I had gotten Cuttlebug, and I like it, but it's bigger than that, and it was more expensive as well. So that's why, you know, and Sizex has amazing tools. They really last a long time, so that's why I would recommend that. And it's smaller than a Cuttlebug as well. Now, the other die cutting machine that you can get and that I would highly recommend would be the Big Shot. And the reason I suggest this one versus the Cuttlebug is that this one is a workhorse. It will cut much thicker dies, the big Tim Holtz one, the big Sizex dies, and it really lasts a very long time. I broke mine after I had it for, I would say 7 years, but 7 years of using it like big time, and I broke the handle. I kept using it, but I found this one used for $5 at the thrift store, so obviously I got it. I already had the plates, so definitely something that I recommend. One of the things too that I found is that Stampin' Up has the magnetic platform for the Big Shot, and that was a nice find as well. Just, you know, if you're, because sometimes your dies will move. One of the tricks as well when you're putting down your dies, and if you don't want them to move, is to put some washi tape to hold them down. So just an idea. Now, like I said, for dies, there's some really cheap ones that you can get from In Love Art, and I've showcased their. If you go into my playlist, you will find In Love Art, and you will see some of the dies that I've showcased. I'm just going to share with you guys some. So see, this is a set, so like the small one would fit perfectly in the machine. One of the other items too, that if you don't have one of the big machines and you purchase a set like this, and so you use the small one but you want to use the bigger one, one of the things that I do, and you've seen me use that trick, is to just go around the die image with my pencil, and then I use my scissors to cut around it. So the small dies like this are very inexpensive on places like I said. See, you can get all kinds of tags and stuff like that. That would all work in the Sidekick, and it's very, very cheap dies. Now, if you want bigger dies and you really love dies and you're looking for some that are really good and not too expensive, I suggest the Quick Cuts, or it's made by We Are Memory Keepers. And what I love about these is that there's many that come in a set. Like for example here, the ovals, there's 13 dies in this set, so you really have a lot for your money, and they're already split up, so you don't need to separate them unlike some other dies. Obviously you can get the Spellbinder ones, but they're more expensive, I find, than these, which are the Memory Keeper Quick Cuts die. It used to be Quick Cuts, and then Memory Keeper purchased them. So they have all kinds of different shapes, and I put my dies in sleeves like this, and then I put them in a binder. I find that they're easy to find, and I usually put a label to say what is in my binder. So those are my favorite dies of all. I have a huge die collection. I've got a lot of them. I don't use them all that often. I should try to use them more. you know, one of the things is always in my wish for the year is to use up my supplies more. So that's one of the things that I want to continue doing this upcoming year, is use up what I've got and use my tools more often, so that I can share with you guys how to use it. And it's just it's fun as well, you know, like you've got embossing folders that you can use as well, which I don't use a lot, but I could, and I have them, so that might be something I can share with you guys. If you have ideas for videos or things that you want me to share with you guys on how to use, just put it down in the description box below. This video is done because there's a lot of questions on what tools to get if you're gonna get into card making. So that's why, in response to that, that's why I made the video, because this way I can reference people to this video, and I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. So then another one that is you know, a favorite, if you're gonna get into, I had put something on here to share with you guys and I lost it. Nice going. Oh well. So one of the items that I have all the time and I use a lot is the Stickles. This is the crystal one. It's not my favorite. It's just because the other one that I have, my preferred one, which is the one that I recommend in my Amazon list, I'm out of. I finished using it. So Stickles, if you're doing a card and you have some snow and you just want that extra little something to give it a pop, this is definitely something that you want to look into getting, because it's you know, that added little something that makes it go from very nice to Then another thing that I really love, but is not necessary, is a bone folder. Obviously, I mean, if I fold a piece of paper, I can just fold it by hand and try to go like this, or use the back of my scissors to go like this, but a bone folder is very useful. So that's and it's usually pretty inexpensive, so it's a tool that I would recommend. I think you can even get some at Dollar Tree and places like that. So if you're looking into you know, investing a little bit more. And the last but not the least is my bigger guillotine. So this one is actually 12 inches by 12 inches because it has this piece here that folds underneath, and actually the handle can fold like this as well, so that it's not so bulky if you're carrying it around. And this you will need when you're cutting down bigger pieces. So for example, the 12 by 12 cardstock, I would use this. So I like this one versus the big 12 by 12 just because this is a lot more portable, so I can bring this with me without issues, and I often don't even open up the other section of the 12. I usually use it just like this. But if you're gonna get only one guillotine, I would get the smaller one, because this is bulky, it takes a lot of room, and you know, it's up to you guys, you know, like you can use this one as well as the small one, and obviously if you're going to do a lot of 12 by 12, this might be a good option instead of the small one. It's just that I find I reach out for the small one a lot more than I reach out for my big one. So just thought, you know, in order of my preference, that's what I would go for. So this is pretty much my list. I'm hoping that I've covered pretty much all the bases. There's so many other options. There's inks that you can use. There's all kinds of stuff. So let me know, guys, if there's more that you want to know, or other tools that you want me to elaborate on. I'd be happy to do that for you guys. So that's it for now. Have a great day. Tomorrow I will be back with a video I'm going to do a recycle Christmas card video. I know you guys love that, so I'll do that. And on the 31st, I'm here with a Take 5 art challenge. And I have some other cool ideas I'm hoping that you guys are gonna like. So stay tuned. There's a lot of ideas. My mind is going 100 miles a minute, and I keep putting down new items of videos and stuff. So hopefully this year I'll be giving you a lot of content. And big thanks to everybody that makes comments on my videos. I always love reading them. I don't always reply to them, but I always show that I've read them by adding a little heart. And you know, just the fact that you guys are communicating with me or giving me a thumbs up or even a thumbs down. I mean, if you don't like what I do and you give me a thumbs down, it's okay too. It shows that at least you've watched it and cared enough to leave me some sort of comment. And so yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all the people that have been watching my videos for many years now, and all the new ones that are heading to the subbies list. I'm hoping that the content that I do for you guys will be what you want. And if you have ideas, always guys, please leave them in the description box below. I love reading them. Also, if you want to see some personal stuff and stuff like that, Instagram, I've posted a lot of the pictures of my trip on there. That's usually my go-to if I'm somewhere and I'm posting. It's usually through Instagram. And you can also find me on my Facebook page, Crafting Vicky. All the links are in the description box below, by the way. So you can see me there and you can interact with me through that option as well if you're on Facebook. Other than that, you can also find my snail mail address in the description box below if you want to send me, you know, anything, a card or something, and or ask questions, and you don't have other options to communicate with me. That's an option. So like I said, I love hearing from you guys, and it makes all this worthwhile, because otherwise, honestly, like it wouldn't be worth putting up video and content if it wasn't for you guys. So love you all. Bye for now.